Chris Russell, who covers the Squad for 106.7 The Fan, at RussellMania621 on Twitter. Always a great follow, always a great conversation. My man, how you doing today?
What's up, Eytan? Happy holidays. How are you, pal? Thanks for the good words.
Absolutely, sir. I'm doing okay. I'm trying to figure out, first off, why. Was it really as obvious as DJ Swearinger criticized his coach? Coach comes out and says, hey, we don't like that. And then next thing you know, because the team is pretty much in the situation that they're in, right, they can afford to cut him.
They could afford it in some ways to send the message. They couldn't afford it from a safety need position. And from the fact that, DJ Swearinger is one of their best defensive players. So there are elements certainly in which they could not afford. But I should tell your audience, because obviously you guys are not going to keep up with DJ Swearinger and his antics and his words like we do here. And that is this. This is not once. This is not twice. This is not 3 or 4 times. This is a documented 6 or 7 times over the last 2 years where he has put some section of the organization, whether it be his teammates, the coaches, or the organization or the fans on sandblast after a game. Look, you know this, Eytan, right? We all have big mouths, right? Well, yeah. Otherwise, we wouldn't do what we do, right? But you and I know this, right? If you put management and whatever station or whatever outlet we're working for, if you put them on sandblast all the time, you may be able to get away with it if you have just incredible ratings and if you have incredible leverage and if you have a stone-cold ironclad contract, all of that stuff. Well, guess what? DJ Swearinger didn't have that. He was good, but he wasn't irreplaceable. He wasn't Jonathan Allen. He wasn't a first-round pick. He wasn't Trent Williams. So he did a stupid thing time and time again, some of which, oh, by the way, I agree with, and I know others agree with, and his teammates agree with, but it was time and time again, despite a multitude of warnings. And at some point, you just have to say, you know what, dude, you're not listening. You're not getting the point. Get out of here.
All right, well, I'm hoping, Chris, that the trickle-down effect of this is the Eagles, need this football game. Right. We'll put the Bears-Vikings game aside. The Eagles need this football game. So part of me was hoping, or a lot of me was hoping, that Ha Clinton-Dix, who I guess is a really close friend of DJ's, would be so pissed off that he might sit a quarter or two in protest, which would allow this Philadelphia Eagles offense that now has come alive to move the football just a little bit easier down the field.
Well, you might not need him to sit because Ha has been a little bit of a joke since he's gotten here. If I could put that into words,
you just did.
I think I just did. All right, so I hope it came across okay because I meant it to come across in a sort of funny way. But he really has been. I don't want to. Maybe not a bad joke, but he's been kind of a corny one-liner. If you smell what I'm cooking here.
Yeah, Rodney Dangerfield, bad Rodney Dangerfield lines.
Exactly. Since he's been here, he just hasn't been what they were. He's missed tackles, taken bad angles. The run defense was dreadful after he got. Now, that's not all him, but clearly he has been a part of it. He allowed he was responsible, or at least partially responsible, for those that remember the Thanksgiving Day loss to the Dallas Cowboys, which, nobody likes to lose to the Dallas Cowboys. I know Eagles fans don't. I know Redskins fans don't. He was involved. He just he's made one probably impact play, if we're being honest. So I don't even know if he needs to revolt or sit or be suspended or benched. He's got his own career to worry about because he's a free agent to be, and he's been a disappointment. Here's the thing that I would say. It's interesting. To my knowledge, Josh Norman is one of the only people that, haven't really come out and support. Now, maybe he did today, and I missed it because I'm working on another big story here. Maybe, him and DJ Swearinger, they went to the same high school together in South Carolina. They were not close. They were not tight. They were not buddy-buddy in any way, shape, or form. And Jonathan Allen, a first-round pick 2 years ago, number 17 overall, he's emerged as a leader. He was critical of DJ Swearinger today, saying he disagreed with his comments and tweeted as much on Saturday night when the team landed back in D.C. from Nashville. So not everybody saw it the way DJ Swearinger saw it.
Hey, you mentioned you're working on another big story. Is that something you can share with us?
Yeah, so here's. I don't think it's going to be anything that really moved the needle for you guys in Philadelphia and South Jersey. But
well,
the Redskins, you know they're a clown show, right?
I was just going to ask, if it gives us an opportunity to make fun of Dan Snyder and the team, people here will jump on it.
It does. So here's the deal, and this is not just me. This is my colleague Craig Hoffman at 106.7 The Fan and Grant Paulson, and we've been working on this story for a couple of days, so it hasn't been officially announced by the team. They fired all of their brand new marketing and fan executives, the guys that they hailed as being the changing of the guard, the reconnecting with the fan base, the guys that were going to shape the vision of the Redskins to sell tickets and move and get better publicity and better PR. They fired them instead of Bruce Allen, who everybody wants out, who's been here for 9+ years, who, when I say is a clown show, well, he's the ringleader of the clown show. He's like a dong show, I mean, he's just bad apple. So actually, this is good for the Philadelphia Eagles fans out there, because Bruce Allen's going to keep his job, and people that actually had a clue, including one high-powered executive that was hired from the NFL league office. All of those guys are gone, and Bruce Allen is staying, and the Redskins will never have a chance with Bruce Allen directing their organization.
Was that Todd Klein, the guy you referenced?
Yes, Todd Klein is. Well, no, the guy from the NFL is Brian Lafemina.
Oh, Lafemina.
He was a top executive with the NFL. Todd Klein is the one that I just found out about, and then there was more. One guy that was hired from the Jaguars. One guy that was hired from another. So all of these. The visionaries of, you got to think about this, right, Eytan? There's maybe 40,000 people going to these games, and it's been this way all year long. They have so totally driven away their fan base. It is mind-boggling. Like on Sunday, and this certainly will favor into the Eagles. Obviously, you guys have something to play for, right? That place will be 85%, in my opinion, Eagles fans. It already was a heavy split towards the Eagles or towards the Cowboys, but especially with the Cowboys, with the Eagles having something to play for, nobody cares around here about the Redskins. Everyone hates everything that they do. You guys will have 75% of that house.
I love it. There seems to be something about D.C. that Eagles, I think it's obviously the proximity of it, but Nationals games, you've seen that as well. I can't even imagine what it's like to be a fan of that team, knowing the direction in which they're taking, even if it's something as, maybe in a fan sense, not from a media sense, but as a fan sense, as superficial as changing over people not named Bruce Allen. But my goodness, you look at another season coming into this game, the final game of the year, you already knew that Alex Smith wasn't a long-term solution, even if the guy did not get hurt this year. How much longer can you really rely on Adrian Peterson year in and year out? I'm not taking anything away from what he did, but it seems like key positions, especially on offense, Chris, I don't know what you're looking at to bank on in the future outside of maybe saying, all right, we need to be much worse than we are to get a player of a caliber to kind of build with.
Yeah, I mean, they have some pieces, to build on. I mentioned Jonathan Allen, from Alabama 2 years ago, Deron Payne, who was his teammate. They do have a couple of pieces to build with, but specific to your point about the offense, and, we talked about this the other day, Alex Smith, look, Eytan, we don't know what exactly his medical, everything that I've been told is he's very unlikely to play ever again, never mind just next year. So if that happens, and again, we won't know that answer for several months, somewhere in that range, they're stuck between 20 and 40 roughly $1 million worth of dead cap money in 2019 if he has to retire, or if he cannot play. Even if he cannot play and doesn't retire, they're still stuck in the neighborhood of $20.5 million in terms of salary cap money. Now, maybe to some people that might, ring a little hollow and say, what's the big deal? They'll just figure it out. So, well, when you then have like Colt McCoy, it's not Nick Foles as your backup who won a freaking Super Bowl and is playing better than the starter was. It's Colt McCoy who can't stay healthy, and then you have Josh Johnson who was playing Madden football to learn his teammate's name before playing in a game 2 days before. So, this is the problem is, the Redskins have a guy like Trent Williams. Yes, they have Jordan Reed who's always hurt, but they don't have anything at the most important position, or what they have is a big lump of coal right now, quite honestly.
Chris Russell joining me, Eytan Shander in for Mike Gill, 97.3 ESPN, the Sports Bash. I'm just trying to think of where to go right now because I do want to follow up on Josh Johnson and the quarterback situation, but there's so many wacky things that come out from this team on a week-to-week basis. I was laughing my ass off, Chris, when I saw the video of Taylor Lewan coming over, and I don't know what the hell he was doing, that bow and arrow taunt to Norman. And then it's almost like if there's anybody in the NFL that I want to see lose there, you know what? It's on camera, it's Josh Norman. So it was perfect because it was this great troll move by Lewan, and then the reaction from Norman gave you everything you want. Now, you're close. You know Josh. What the hell happened?
Yeah, so basically what he was saying was that Lewan was taking some cheap shots and some unnecessary below-the-waist type shots on the final Titans drive, which ultimately led to them scoring a touchdown and ultimately them taking the lead and ultimately them winning the game. So there Norman was, very upset, very emotional, as he always is, but sulking to himself on the Redskins bench when Lewan came over, and I guess they had an exchange of words or whatever on the field that nobody really caught at the time. And Lewan came over and, within 10, 12, 13 feet, starts barking at him to get the bleep out of his building and to get the bleep out of his stadium. And, of course, Norman took offense to that, as you would imagine he would. And he got up and he kind of, went at him and shoved him, and he was protected from doing more. And listen, I blame Josh Norman for a lot of things, and by the way, I don't think he's going to be here next year as well. I blame Josh Norman for a lot of things, but in this particular case, to me, I think it's pretty well known that you don't do what Taylor Lewan did. So I can't really blame Norman, quite honestly. He knew his season was over, and maybe essentially his Redskins career, not that it was a great one for 3 years, might be coming to an end. So, it's just one more chapter, one more thing. And then the DJ Swearinger comments happened, and it's just been a gong show since literally the week before Thanksgiving when they were 6-3, and they hadn't taken on the Eagles yet either time, and they hadn't taken on the Cowboys yet, and they lost Alex Smith, and from there everything went south. But the reason why so many people are upset is because this has been 27 years of ineptitude and futility, not all under the leadership of Dan Snyder. He's only been the owner for 22. Not all under the leadership of Bruce Allen. He's only been here for 9. But you get the point.
Yes, I do. Yes, I do. My goodness. All right, last one for you, Chris. It's a simple one. How shocked would you be Sunday at 8 o'clock at night if you're looking back at a Washington Redskins victory over the Philadelphia Eagles? 0 is, I saw this coming the whole time, to 10, which is, man, I would have been more shocked if I won the lottery than this happening.
Yeah, I would say I would probably be at a 9-ish, somewhere in that range. Maybe
9-ish sounds like you're over 9, but not at 10.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, look, could it happen? Of course, because, if Nate Sudfeld, who the Redskins know well, they gave up on him, the Eagles, the Eagles are a smart organization. They carry 3 quarterbacks because they know that you have to have somebody that has terminology and understanding of the system in order to play, unlike the Redskins, who just seemingly think everybody carries 2 quarterbacks with nobody on the practice squad. Anyway, I get past my own axe to grind there. But if Nate Sudfeld had to play the entire game, if something happened to Foles early in the game, cheap shot, whatever, or just a freak injury, maybe I would say, okay, the Redskins have a chance here. But, I mean, come on, let's be honest. The Redskins are playing for absolutely nothing but pride. They played their asses off last Saturday. They're not good enough. They make mistake after mistake after mistake after mistake. And I'm sorry, with Darren Sproles back and again Foles, and seems like him and Aguilar have, a thing going again. And, I mean, how do you stop the weapons of the Eagles? And then how do you their offensive line is not very good, and it's beat up, and they're starting like their sixth-string guards. Fletcher Cox is just, and the rest of the boys are going to tear them a new one.
I love it, man. Eagles have a big game, and it looks like the Skins are the perfect opponent right now, Chris, as they're in disarray and everything else. So you know how this is going to work. Eagles going to lose by 30. That's how the NFL does it.
Well, it's going to be Philly South, so make sure you bring down, all the cheese
ski masks
and all the.
That's the new thing is ski masks. I don't know if you know this. Yes,
I don't.
Okay, so
I don't.
A couple of guys on the Eagles defense brought out. Rodney McLeod was the first one hurt and brought out the ski mask because they were robbing teams with turnovers. Now this happened in the second Dallas game, which they lost. So technically, you can say, well, the whole fad started from a loss. But anyway, it moved forward, and the last two games, this thing has just grown. So anybody it's like the turnover chain on Florida State.
Right, exactly. So
now you wear the ski mask. Right, instead of the underdog masks.
I gotcha.
Yes.
Right, because that was last year's thing. So they're going to bring the ski masks with the cheesesteaks. Is that what you're telling me?
Yeah, easy on the cheesesteak thing, all right? That's like the Boo Santa Claus stuff. We're known for more than just bad meat slathered with cheese on a roll, all right?
Hey, listen, look at me. I love Philadelphia. I know.
You do.
I know you guys are more. I know you guys are more than about cheesesteaks, but that's what as we know, that's what Philadelphia is synonymous with. So bring whatever you got to bring. I think it'll be a party at about 7:45 on Sunday night.
Absolutely, brother.
I can't say about Kirk Cousins and the Vikings.
No,
but I think you guys will be fine.
I know. I purposely didn't bring that up because I'm with you. I think we're both on the same vein on that one. At WrestleMania 621. Again, Chris, thanks for the time, brother.
I'll talk to you later on tonight, pal. Appreciate it,
man. Absolutely. Does a great job, man. And he's as objective as it gets. And